Tuesday it is!
Hey everyone, it's Mimi and Weezus.
Hey guys, what's good?
Today, Lauren's with us again.
What is happening?
You saw her on a couple episodes on like our first season, I think. And she's back, guys. She is back.
I am back.
First, me and Jesus both want to start by saying thank you for supporting us so much.
Thanks for everyone that literally listens to our stuff on everything, on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, you know, everywhere where everyone listens to us. We appreciate you guys, and thanks for the support.
If you download the episode, it helps us a lot with our analytics and everything versus just listening to it. But both help us a lot.
And
Likes,
same on
shares.
YouTube, guys. If you guys like and subscribe or just leave a comment, just like, you know, thanks, this is good or something, you know.
It
we
helps.
appreciate, everything helps, and we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, even the mean comments, we appreciate those too. Everything that we get, like, we appreciate. Anyways, so today we're gonna do another true crime episode. We're gonna cover Mary Ann Cotton today. And first off, who was Mary Ann Cotton? You might ask.
Mary Ann Cotton, dude, was recorded London's first serial killer.
Britain's first serial killer, yeah.
Britain's first serial
All
killer.
of Britain,
Well,
dude.
not first serial killer. I should say first female
Serial killer.
Yeah.
Specify, sorry.
Yeah, well, a lot of people say that, but there was before that some female killers who had, killed multiple people due to poison and stuff. But this was like the first big thing. So,
Dang.
But we'll kind of start from the beginning, right? So keep in mind, guys, this isn't like this happened 10 years ago. This was way back in the 1830s, all right? That's when she was born.
It's the 19th century, my dudes.
Yeah. So she was born in 1832, and that's kind of where her whole story starts. Her maiden last name was Robson, and when she was little, her dad passed away, so she lived with her mom. Her mom remarried pretty soon after that, but her stepdad, you guys, that's what did her in. That's what made her the murderer she was.
Ooh, typical stepdads.
Dang.
It's always the steps, dude.
Always the steps, dude.
It's like evil stepmother, evil stepfather. Everyone has to deal with it once in their life, Well, when she was 16, because she didn't get along with her stepdad, she actually left home.
Ooh.
So imagine being 16 back in the Victorian era, too. Out of all things, dude. She just...
And they called me a wench. No, just kidding.
They probably did. They burned Jesus at the stake, too.
Dang.
But she was just out on her own, living her best life, dude.
No penicillin, dude?
Nothing.
That was
She was just out on the streets. Well, then she got married in 1852. This is where the trouble really starts, was back in 1852. She was 20 years old. She had 5 kids.
Dang.
4 of the 5 kids died as babies, as infants. Even back in the Victorian era, the rate of infant death was really high. But 4 or 5 babies, that's even super high for back then.
That's quite a bit.
I mean, even surviving yourself was high back then.
I feel like
you live past 10, you're lucky, dude.
I feel like usually back then it's usually the mom that dies from childbirth, like from bleeding out, because they had issues with that back then. But to have all the babies die,
all the
that's
babies
really
died
weird.
besides the one. So
That's cursed almost.
Yeah. Then her husband, he suddenly dies in January of 1865. So after this, then it's just like a domino effect of deaths. So you really have to start asking yourself, right? At this point, right, she's widowed now. She returns to this place called Sunderland, which is where she grew up and everything.
Yeah.
And a few months later, gets married again. So imagine, you're married to this guy, you have a ton of his kids, which most of them pass away, unfortunately. Then he passes away, and within a couple months, you're remarried.
Yeah. Back then, I think, too, in Britain, like, if you're divorced, they see you as, like, used goods almost. They were really worried about divorce and marriage back then. If you were widowed, like, you're done almost. Like,
ooh.
Like, and if you don't get married at all, you're a spinster. Like, you can't be seen alone with men. Like, they were really weird about that. So for her to just get married right away, like, it's kind
like
of
that
weird.
Scarlet Letter type stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
In Britain,
you like someone?
Yeah.
That's what it was like, dude.
You're breathing?
Exactly. Like,
They're just really weird about it back then.
Imagine she didn't make dinner on time, too.
Damn.
Yeah.
I had to tell her twice.
That's how they portray it.
Well, so after her husband dies and she moves back to her hometown, right? She gets a new husband. Guess what happens to him? He dies in October of that same year. So her husband dies, she gets remarried, and then her other husband dies by the end of that year. So he dies in October of 1865 from, and I quote, guys, an unexplained illness.
And here's something that's even more strange. Yeah. On all these people, on both of her husbands, right before they supposedly died, or from, whatever.
They definitely died.
They definitely died, right?
I mean, they did die, but supposedly.
Supposedly, right? Supposedly. She had taken in life insurance policies on them.
You know what's crazy about that is I didn't even know life insurance policies existed back then.
I wouldn't think so.
Well, here's the thing, bro. They've existed everywhere else except for United States and stuff.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Because think about it,
United States doesn't like to take care of its people.
It doesn't like to take care of its old people, but
or its people in general. In 1866, just a year later, guys, Mary's mom dies suddenly after a random illness just strikes, right? Yeah. So you're telling me, at first it's it's not really sus, it's just her mom, right? Well, at the time, Mary here had a relationship with a different widower. His name was James Robinson, to be exact. Guess what they did? Got married, dude.
Yeah.
He had 4 kids from his late wife, the one who passed away. Obviously, that's what late wife means. Although, 2 of those kids suddenly died after meeting Mary.
Oh my God.
She didn't like them. They didn't fit the cut, dude.
Yeah, no, that's what it seems like, right? And back in the day, people just died a lot.
I will say, their healthcare was really bad back then, and they didn't have the advances. They probably didn't even have penicillin at this time. I didn't fact check that, but it's probably not that weird for people to just get sick and die. But still, that's a lot of people dying around her, specifically.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Really
so, like I said, guys, some of these kids, they had already passed away after they met Mary.
Yes.
Well, James, he gets sus. He gets real sus of Mary because he's weird. And then you know what she does? He said that he was suspicious because she started pestering him to get a life insurance policy.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Get that coin, girl.
That's what she was doing. That's literally what people think was going on here because she was like, come on, get life insurance just in case. What's going to happen to me and the kids type of thing, right?
Quick word of advice, though. If you're a single man and you love your family or whatever, get life insurance. So if you ever have that thought, I'm going to die, you take care of your family either way.
Yeah. My grandparents had a kid before they had my dad and his 3 siblings that I knew.
Yes.
And she passed away from pneumonia as a baby.
Damn.
And
penicillin's used for a lot of stuff now, but back then if they didn't have antibiotics, you would just die from you could die from pneumonia, you could die from the flu.
That's why it was so easy to poison people back then.
The Black Death though, that was way earlier. That was in the 1300s.
But penicillin. Anyways, guys, so back to James. So in late 1869, she had one of his kids. Mary left James. I know, this lady's pissing me off. This though, dude, James, he's the only husband to survive one of the marriages to her.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
She brings Spencer to a whole new level, dude. She's just getting single, jumping.
Yeah. Well, then guess what happens next, dude? In 1870, Mary marries another dude. Another one, dude. And his name was Frederick Cotton.
Oh, there's the last name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She ended up taking that last name, obviously. And some weird stuff happened with that, though, because even though the marriage was effectively null and void because she had not legally divorced that James.
Yeah.
She still took his last name. So things got a little iffy, right?
So they just did a he say, she say thing.
Yeah, basically. So then Mary has another son, dude.
Oh my God.
She has a kid
She keeps popping them out, dude.
Yeah, she just doesn't stop.
How many kids is that at this point?
A ton, dude. A ton.
We'll have to hit the tally mark.
Yeah,
we'll have to see how many bodies she got.
Yeah, 21 is
KD,
what they
dude.
say.
No,
so at the end of the story, you'll see that there's 21 people who were close to Mary that suddenly died, right? So the story gets really weird, though. So Mary had Frederick Cotton's son, Frederick's sister, 2 sons from a previous marriage, and a couple of their friends died suddenly after the same illnesses that everyone else is dying from. Just all of a sudden being oh, and then boop, dead.
And the illness, just for you guys know, it's like a gastric fever is what they say back then.
Yeah, they were saying gastric fever. And then Frederick himself, dude, he dies in December 1871.
He's following the trend, dude.
But let me tell you a quick fact about the gastric fever back then. It was also attributed to lead paints that were used to paint the inside of the houses or even the outside. So just say you were asleep in the room and it's a 10, 20-year-old room. You were breathing in all that lead. It would lead to a gastric fever, and it was you'd probably die.
They didn't realize how much it was in. It was in the toys too that the kids were playing with.
So it was in everything.
It was in everything.
Everything.
Dang. That's wild.
So just imagine you had a red fire truck, and then your hands get painted all red after you're done playing with it,
And you're, like,
and then your skin's just absorbing it.
Yeah.
So
or you just don't wipe your hands off and then you eat afterwards.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because back then, especially, they're like...
Yeah. Well, I mean, you remember being a little kid and then just, like, playing outside and then coming in and going pee real quick and then going back to, like, eating your snack. Well, after Frederick dies, dude, guess who else passes away just shortly after him is the baby that him and Mary had, dude.
Oh, my God, dude.
I know. Then what did she do? Quickly remarried.
Well, no, she don't stay single for long, dude.
She quickly
she
remarries.
gets right on that Tinder from the 1800s.
Then this guy dies too.
I wonder how you do it, bro. Did she just stick out her ankle and then she was just like, ooh?
She just walks
Apparently,
around,
because if you look at the pictures, like,
she ain't
gonna be my top pick, you know? Like, I know that's mean, but maybe back then, I don't know, but if I had to choose.
Or maybe she was a high caliber woman.
Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. Or maybe these men were just desperate back then.
I'll marry whoever.
Yeah, like the first lady who gives them kids.
I'll marry whoever that's not my cousin.
Well, they probably gotta get the kids taken care of, so she's like, if he's a guy and he has money, like, he can marry
Yeah,
me.
he can marry
That's
me.
probably what they do.
Well, so this guy and the baby, Frederick and the baby, they pass, right?
For sure.
Mary gets remarried again. Then that guy dies, just like shortly after. So it just continues to happen, and it's just short illnesses and random stuff. So in the spring of 1872, one of Mary's few surviving stepchildren, Charles Cotton, whose father was Frederick Cotton, died suddenly. This is where things really took a turn because word started spreading, dude. Neighbors were talking, everyone was concerned. They're like, how come Mary's, like, nearest and dearest here are just, like, passing away so quickly? Like, everyone she knows, everyone's gone.
It's like she's had 15 kids and only one survived, and it wasn't even her kid. It was a stepkid. No.
Then, like I said, since the people started getting sus, Thomas Riley was a government official's name. He got even more sus of the last death of Charles. So Mary had told Thomas that Charles had been, and I quote, in the way of her plans of getting remarried. Because he was like, well, my dad just died. Like, you're really going to do this? You know, that kind of thing. So then Charles, it seemed to everyone to be super healthy and, like, energetic, just a normal, like, young guy, you know? And boom, then sudden death.
Let me guess, gastric fever, dude.
Yes. Yep.
That's
what they said the cause of death was, right? So then Mary here tried to collect the life insurance on Charles Cotton's life, who was her stepson. But guess what? The insurance company was like, bruh, this is the 20th time we've done this for you. Like, we're not doing it
They're
again.
like, Mary Ann Khan? Dude, we have her file. Look at her file. Nah. Tell her we ain't sending her anything until we find out what's going on.
Well, to make it worse, that's what they did. They were like, what do you mean? What do you mean another one is gone? Like, what do you mean you need more money? So they said, we'll give you your life insurance money if you can exhume Charles's body and do some testing on it. Like, investigate it. We want to see what's in his body. We want to see what's going on. Because why do you have 10 life insurance policies given to you at this point?
That's crazy, dude. Like, after this many deaths, they were like, maybe we should start looking into that's what they're actually dying from. Because I feel like they're just like, let's go home early, dude. It's probably gastric. Like, they're just putting it like that.
That's what they were doing.
But then it turns out that, didn't they die, is it from arsenic poisoning?
Yeah. So Charles was actually the one who made the case, basically, his death is. Because when they exhumed him, they found significant traces of arsenic in his body. In his stomach, actually. Yeah. So...
And something that's super similar to arsenic poisoning is a gastric fever.
Yeah.
And she figured that out early. Look at all those people.
Yeah.
With gastric fever.
Well, and then at this point, she hasn't even admitted, right? So at this point, people still don't even know. So after they found the arsenic in Charles's tummy, charges followed after that.
Yeah.
But Charles got exhumed. They found the arsenic. She went to trial, and then she was executed. But she only ever got blamed for Charles.
Well, hold on. Let me. You went a little too fast.
Well, that's
too
like
quick.
That's the story.
That's
so
the
now,
timeline.
Yeah, that's the timeline.
Let me hit you with some things right before she died. No.
Yeah, no, hit it, dude.
When she was in jail, or charged with
yeah.
the murders of like her husband and all these kids, she was pregnant at the time. So being in jail, she still popped up another baby.
So that actually goes into the trial. of her being pregnant because her trial began March 5th, 1873, right? But that was super delayed because she was pregnant. So she was pregnant first, and then she had to have the baby. They took that baby away. Then she goes to jail, and then her trial wasn't for months after that. So the whole thing itself was just absolutely crazy because she was charged with murder, but that was the only one. The people ended up actually like digging up the remains of other people who had passed away, and all of them had arsenic in them.
And like just a thing on arsenic too, like in today's day and age, like there have been cases where like people put it in tea bags. It shows up in the tea later. They find out because it's an easy way to kill someone. A lot of like women killing their husbands that way because they can slip it into their food and they wouldn't even notice it. Well, right away. But back then in the 1800s, they sold it at the grocery store.
Yeah, you could go buy it.
Yeah,
and
you could buy it anywhere.
You had to be a certain age to buy it. I can't remember if it was 18 or 21 or what it was. I had read about it just moments ago, so I'll confirm that in a second.
And they used it in a lot of stuff, too.
Yeah, well...
like the kids' toys.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, like, what is arsenic, right? Like, we all know that, it's a poison, but, like, where does it come from? Like, I literally think about this stuff when I start to do this, and I'm like, wait a sec, I know what it is, but, like, how did they even figure this out, right?
Oh, they also think that the arsenic that they found in the bodies was... She said that it was dye off the wallpaper. So, you know how back then those houses had those weird-ass patterns?
Yeah.
And all that. They're saying the paint dust off of that also has arsenic.
Yeah. Which it did, but like all those people, they're still in the wallpaper.
And they're all in the same house?
Yeah.
Because she moved from one place to another. So it's not all the... Did she bring the wallpaper from her old house? Like, she makes no sense, right? She bugs.
Well, she bugs.
She does. I'm like
she really bugs.
She really bugs me, dude. So I'm going to tell you, I Googled it, how much arsenic is actually, like, deadly to someone.
Okay.
And how much she would have to buy. So, in humans, it's, like, 1,400 milligrams for... It says 140 to 1,400 milligrams for the average size adult is, like, a lethal dose, right?
Okay.
So, a 140 milligram dose of it is potentially deadly, but that's, like, equivalent to... 0.145 grams.
Oh, not.
So it's like less than an eighth of a teaspoon.
Oh, man.
Can kill someone. And a kid, even less.
Yeah, for an adult, dude.
Yeah. So that's an adult, like a grown adult. So then you think of kid, that's even less. Well, where did she get it? Because I read about it. Because I was like, how is she even getting this at this point? Like,
how do I say? Didn't she have access to that stuff because she was a nurse?
Well, I think she was a nurse, but I was reading about how she actually sent someone else to get it for her. From the store.
Too suspicious, dude. She can't get it on her own. She's smart.
So they had proof that she went and got it. And obviously they didn't have proof that she directly gave it to them, but like, you bought it, Holmes. You know what I mean? And all those people are just...
And what are you buying it for? You making wallpaper?
Mm-hmm.
You can't cook with it? Like,
what are you doing? You're gonna paint
it
on your wallpaper so people can breathe it in? Like,
what are you doing with it?
Every time she's like, I feel like I'm gonna change the wall decorations in my house and I'm gonna paint everything. For the 12th time this year.
When people questioned her about her Charles dying too, she was like, okay, well, it could have been from the wallpaper. And then she even tried to blame the local chemist, saying like, he probably mistaked the powder he was using for him because he gets his stomach upset. So he probably gave him arsenic on accident. Like, he's probably talking to another customer and got distracted. That's what she said. She said, like, I did not do this. Like, obviously, one of the doctors that was helping him, like, messed up. Because his stomach was hurting, and that was it. That's what she said.
She wasn't even good at lying.
When all those people found arsenic in them, she was like, okay, well, it obviously wasn't me, so let's figure out who did it.
I don't know. It makes no sense. Like, they have all the evidence. Back then, too, it's not like... Imagine now. You know, there would be so much proof. They'd be like, we checked her Google search history, and she typed in, where to buy.
Test the arsenic to be the exact same kind. Like, they would be able to break it down.
Like, how much of a life insurance will I get if 8 of my kids are dead?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing is, only Charles got justice, you know?
Yeah.
It was only served for him. There was 21 total victims. I have the name of all of them. And then the other thing was... that she died by hanging, right?
Yeah, she was executed.
Yeah, she did. She got the death penalty, right?
Yeah.
But she was 40 when she passed away. And they said that when the hanging happened, that there was like a malfunction, I guess, in like the system, so she didn't immediately like drop and start like choking. It was more of like it wasn't all the way, so she could still like fight it off a little bit.
When they drop something below
it's
them,
because
it's like the gallows.
The hole that they usually dig a hole under when they drop, so it breaks their neck.
Mm-hmm.
And the hole was like her size, I guess, and she just like stood up and it was like barely choking her.
Yeah, it took like 3 or 4 minutes.
So the guy that pulls the pulley, I guess, to choke her, held down on her and choked her like for like 3 minutes until she just died.
It sounds awful, but like if she really did this stuff, she kind of deserves it. Because you know that they suffered from the arsenic, like they were suffering.
And then they found arsenic like with her things too, and she said to them that it was she got it to kill bed bugs.
Oh man!
How many bed bugs?
How many bed bugs?
How many bed bugs you got, girl?
I know, like. I don't know.
She's like all.
I mean, it is the 1800s, but like, dang, that's a lot of.
That's a lot of bed bugs, dude.
No, she found something that worked, and she was like, "This is so easy. If I get bored of them, I'll just go to the next husband, dude.
Yeah.
Kill the kids I don't want. Dang, easy."
Well, and she had used, like Jesus was saying earlier, how she was a nurse, right?
Mm.
To clean, she had used a mixture of soap and arsenic in the infirmary to like kill germs and all that stuff to keep disease from spreading. So she had already had experience working with it and how not to get like poisoned from it herself, you know?
Oh man.
And then she's like, me? Wasn't me. You know, like she literally pulled a Shaggy, dude.
Shaggy?
She did. She pulled a Shaggy. Got caught red-handed and was like, don't know, it wasn't me.
She's like, nah, it couldn't be me, man. What do you mean? There's no arsenic in my house. And there's like eight bottles in there.
They find it and they're like, I think you're mistaken.
It's like, we found your fingerprints. It's not me.
Yeah.
Dude, one of the things I was reading said that, so 3 out of her 4 husbands, because you said the one survived. Mm-hmm. You know how many kids, dude? 11 out of 13.
Yeah. Isn't that insane? So she still has this ass. Did you see the picture over here? Let me pull it up for you to look. Look. This is the lady, dude.
That's insane. That's more than 80% of her kids, dude.
Yeah.
Gone.
It's just... I don't know.
I don't get the kids part. Like, I understand maybe the husband, which
like
sounds
infants?
dark, but like, why the kids? Because you don't even know, like, if they're gonna cause you a problem.
Yeah,
like,
they're just babies.
Thinking from a psychopath. Like, how do you decide to just get rid of kids?
If I was a psychopath, if I were to think about it, if I married this person planning to kill them for their life insurance, which is what she seemed to have been doing, allegedly, she was marrying these people, begging them to take out life insurance and killing them, right? But she had to make them believe that she loves them. And wanted to marry them and wanted to spend her life with them. So she was probably like, I love you, I miss you, you know, and then like having babies with them, like, let's make a family. Like, and maybe the first husband, because she had the most kids with him, right? Maybe she actually truly loved him. Yeah, maybe she really did love him.
There's gotta be some, like...
Yeah. But I think that's the only thing that could explain it, is that she was just having the kid to, like, make the husband believe her lie of loving him, and then killing the kid because she didn't want it, and then killing the husband. And she was just doing it all for the life insurance money.
Maybe she thought maybe the kids would grow up and suspect her, too. Maybe she thought, like, they were gonna ask what happened to Dad.
And then what happened to Dad number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8.
And then the one who questioned her.
Yeah.
And she was like, you're in the way. Why are you asking?
Yeah,
why are you asking questions?
You should not have asked that. Now I'm going to have to murder you.
Yeah.
She's like, what'd you just say? He's like, never mind.
So I don't speak English. Oh, okay. It
wasn't me.
You don't wake up the next day?
Yeah. That's really what was happening, though. Isn't that insane?
And then back then, dude, there's no way of surviving that. Like,
no, yeah, there was no way.
It's such a painful way to die, too, because you're just suffering the whole time.
Yeah, you're literally just being poisoned. There's no quick, like, hanging. There's no quick gunshot, nothing. It's literally just...
And you go to the hospital and they're like, you're gonna die.
They're like, buckle in for a wild ride, because we also don't have ibuprofen.
And then the guy that usually just knocks out people, he got sick too, so it's over for him.
Dude, imagine being sick back then. I'm just thinking about it, because now, like, we complain about the slightest pains. Like, you have a UTI, we go in and ask for pain meds and all this stuff.
You could literally text your doctor now and he'll send it to your pharmacy. Yeah. Like, how crazy is that?
Be like, I know I saw you 6 months ago for this problem and I have it again. They'll be like, okay, no biggie, I trust you, I believe you. Back then, they were like, ugh, bye. It was nice knowing you.
It's like, I have a pain in my arm. Let's cut off his arm.
Yeah. I'm like, I have a paper cut. And they're like, see, we don't have antibiotics, so we're going to actually have to chop that off.
Yeah. They're like, because you're going to lose the arm and it'll spread within a day. So we're just going to get rid of it now, but, like, you're going to have to buy on this gag because we don't have
Yeah. We also don't have anything to give you, like, anesthesia-wise. So here's some mushrooms. I hope you have a fun time. Tie you down.
It gives me anxiety just thinking about it. Like, getting sick back then. Imagine coughing and everyone looks at you like, dude, it was nice meeting you.
Well, and then everyone's like, don't come near me. Don't come to my house, you know?
Because you can't just go to primary care and get antibiotics. Like, you're done.
No,
and then even
that's
if you
why
go
it's
to the
so easy.
hospital, they'll be like, "No, dude, you're sick."
Yeah, so her victims, potentially 8 of her own children, 7 stepchildren, her mom, 3 husbands, a different lover, and just a friend that was in the way questioning things.
Probably was like, hey, what's happening to your hubbies, dude? Like, that never happens to me. And she was like, what'd you say?
And she was like, takes this tea and I'll tell you the story.
Can you drink this for me?
Yeah. Here's a cup of tea. Let me tell you what happened. And then they wake up dead too.
So easy in Britain too, because all they do is drink tea.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, dude.
Yeah, even the kids do.
Which may sound like stupid to other people, but like it's true. Like all they do is drink tea in the morning. They drink it with every meal.
Yeah, like
it's so easy.
I gave you this cup of water earlier.
Like nowadays, I'd be like, hot tea. Like, where's my Starbucks?
I know, where's my Starbucks?
Back then, you'd be like, you made me tea. That was so nice.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You just didn't give me warm water. This guy's amazing.
What do you guys think? She never, till the day she died.
Yeah,
she never
said it, dude.
No, she never admitted to it.
She's obviously innocent, dude. I don't know about you guys, but I think she's innocent.
I wish they could see your face and know that you're lying and not telling the truth, but they can't.
If someone had asked me, like, what are the possibilities if you were told that she didn't do it, I would think that, like I said, back then, the healthcare wasn't good. People got sick all the time. Like you said, if you got a cut on your arm and it got infected, you lose the arm. Like, they didn't really have as much as we do now. So I would say it's harder to tell if she did it to all those people. I definitely think she poisoned some of them.
Yeah, they all had arsenic. She bought it. It was all her husband. She cashed out on all the husbands, and then their kids died. And then when they questioned things, they just accidentally died from gastric fever too. It was just all a coincidence, but she never got it. Living in the same place, breathing in the same wallpaper.
If there wasn't life insurance policies, I would think about it more. But why are you taking them out on all these people and then skipping within a month? People.
She's like, my husband
died.
She
didn't even give it some time to like.
No. Yeah. There's no grieving time because she wasn't grieving.
No, she was just like, thank goodness, on to my next.
She's like, I've been spying this guy since I met this guy. No.
For real, and with all that money, like, why couldn't she afford better wallpaper?
Imagine killing people because you get bored, dude.
Yeah, she was just like,
She just gets bored of people. That's what it seems like, because if you had a real love, you wouldn't feel that way about your kids.
I don't think she ever loved anyone or anything. I think she was truly like a psychopath.
She's just like causing all the chaos.
Yeah, I think she was like down bad for money, so she had an idea like, well, let me get a rich husband, and then she was like, oh god, he kind of bugs, and then she was like, you know what, let's get life insurance, and she was like, boop, gone, and then the kids were just in the way, so she got rid of them. Remarries again and just keeps going and going and going. So she never had to work or worry about money because she was just getting life insurance policies. And in today's day and age, we can get a $2 million life insurance policy if we want.
That's crazy.
Back then, it was probably like what? I don't know, probably really low. I was gonna say like $1,000, but that was just made up.
But even if it was $1,000, it probably was a lot.
Let me look it up.
Because even $10 back then was a lot now.
The average life insurance policy only costed a few cents. Okay, and it paid for burial.
Okay.
It doesn't really say much else. I'll have to do more research into it, but I'm assuming it couldn't have been that much.
It only costed for the burial and enough to get you a chicken wing.
Like, look up how much was like $10 in 1863 compared to today. Because you got to look at inflation.
In 1863 versus today. So $10 in 1863 is equivalent to $247.88 today.
So imagine.
Ooh. Yeah.
It didn't have to be that much.
No, imagine you even got $1,000.
Not even, dude. Cents on the hour.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know, evil. Tell us what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks for listening with us.
And we out.
Yeehaw, brother.